Hey YouTube, it's your girl Dr. J back again, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how we are going to be doing a research report this year with my third grader and also with my first graders. I'll tell you how I'm going to do it with my first graders as well. But the reason why I'm going to do a research report with him this year is because he has an area of passion. And I don't know if he'll keep this passion for a long time, but I wanted him to have something to show for all the work and reading and all the stuff he's been doing with his passion. And his passion is ferrets. Okay. We're not getting him a ferret. You would like a ferret? We're not getting a ferret. We don't have any pets. If we did have a pet, it would be a ferret. So what we're going to do, since he's really, really enthralled with ferrets. So what I'm going to do is have him start to use some of the resources that we have to develop a report. We ended up buying a ton of books about ferrets, just because one of the few times we did go to the library, and one of the reasons why I don't like the library really, is because we went to the library. We don't live in a small city. We're not in a major city, but we're in a good mid-sized city, and they did not have any books on ferrets. And I thought, really? So we ended up buying him some things and said, okay, well, since we have all these resources, let's use them. So the first place I'm going to have him look is in the World Encyclopedia of Animals. Now, the interesting thing about this book is that there's only like one paragraph on ferrets. So he's not going to get a lot out of this book, but I want to show him that this is always a good place to start. And then he has a lot of books that he's going to be looking through. I showed you guys this one, Training Your Pet Ferret. And this book is called The Ferret. The Ferret Handbook. Ferrets for Dummies. And you see the bookmark because he has been reading this book a ton. We have this book, The Kids 2013 Almanac, and there's only 2 mentions of the black-footed ferret in this book, but I just wanted him to have another source on it. So we have this, and this is just a fiction book about ferrets, ferret fun, but he can put in his book, you know, how people use ferrets in stories and different things. And then we have this DVD from PBS about ferrets. Now, this is not really like an educational documentary on ferrets. It's really about people that have ferrets as pets and the different ferret competitions and different things that they do, and the quirky people that keep ferrets. So, but beggars can't be choosers, and this is what I was able to find. And then he has this calendar and another calendar, and it has lots of cool pictures with ferrets. And so we're going to use this so that he can have some pictures and stuff for his report. So basically, oh, and then another thing we're going to do, we go to the pet store so he can see ferrets because mama's not buying one. So we'll go to the pet store so he can do some observation. We'll let the manager know that he's doing a report on ferrets, and maybe he can come in at like feeding time and when they're cleaning the cages and different things like that. Also, there's supposed to be a ferret rescue organization that is within an hour of our home. So I'm going to contact them and see if we can take a trip to their location so that he can get another like in-depth look at ferrets, and then gonna walk him through the process. Not going to be a lot of writing heavy. So this is not going to be, you know, a high school level research report. What I want him to be able to do is understand the process that you go through for getting a report. So the first thing that you have to do once you pick your topic is do a lot of research. So I'm going to let him do research with these different sources and write about some of the facts that he knows. You know, what's their category? You know, how long have ferrets been kept as animals? Ferrets have actually been domesticated for a long time. So he can talk about the first uses, the first time that we have in recorded history where ferrets were kept as pets. He can talk about, you know, the fact that ferrets are the third most popular pet in the United States. What you need to know to keep a ferret. So like the ferret training books, he'll talk about what you need to know to keep a ferret and what are the steps people need to take to keep a ferret healthy. We'll see if we can get a little bit of time with an exotic animal veterinarian, because that's where you have to take a ferret if you have a pet ferret and they get sick or they need to get shot. You have to take it to an exotic animal doctor veterinarian. So we will try to find one in our area to see if he can get, 15 minutes to go and talk with them about what do they know about ferrets, or what advice would they have for kids who are interested in having a pet ferret. And he will be putting his report together. I want him to have, be able to have a lot of pictures in it. And he will write out some things. I may actually have him also just shoot a video where he is able to talk to people. We won't post it anywhere, but send it to grandma and papa. They get all of our stuff, so that he can talk about ferrets and be a little bit more free with it, so he doesn't have to focus so much on writing, but he can keep a little report journal where he talks about the facts that he knows, and also what is his opinion on the facts. Does he think that ferrets are a good pet or not for people? Also do a compare and contrast with domesticated ferrets and their black-footed ferret counterparts. And black-footed ferrets are wild, and so he can talk about the difference between a wild animal and a domesticated animal and how they change. And he can talk about just how the ferrets are in, how they contrast with other members of the marsupial family that they belong to, and what are some of those other animals, and how are they similar, how are they different. So I just want him to have an opportunity to really have something to show for his area of passion, and we can get some writing practice in with it, we can get some reading practice in with it, and he can get a little bit more familiar with the research process. How I'm going to include my twins in on this, since they're going into first grade, thankfully they like animals that have a lot more information about them. One likes cats, the other likes dogs, so they'll do their own report as well, but it'll be at a first grade level. So again, very picture heavy, but they will just talk about the cat family. My daughter talked about the cat family and how cats, domesticated pet cats, belong to a much larger cat family, and what are some of the things that make cats special. How do you take care of a cat if you have one as a pet? We have a book on the life cycle of cats, and so just talk about that. And again, my son, her twin, he likes dogs, so he will have a report that's very similar to hers. And in the end, we will have them write everything up and have their little journals, and then videos, poster boards, whatever else they do, and they'll do a report out for my husband and I and their grandparents. I actually try to have my kids do report outs in front of an audience as much as possible, because I think that that's a skill. Everyone needs to have public speaking skills, and this is one area where I think with homeschoolers you have to create public speaking opportunities, and so that's what I try to do with my kids as much as possible. So that's going to be the way that we do a research report this year for third grade. It's going to be purely passion based. It is not going to be real heavy on writing. Gonna let him do more excerpts and small bit writing. He will be able to dictate to me, and I'll type things up and print them out for him to put them in a journal how he pleases. Lots of actual pictures, a lot of comparing and contrasting with wild animals as well as other members of the marsupial family, which is what ferrets belong to, and also give him some opportunity to do some observation of ferrets as much as we can get, and also talk with some professionals who see ferrets on a regular basis, with a veterinarian who sees ferrets. So that's how we do book reports. or not book reports. That's how we do research reports. So hope this helps. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.